was not one that was discontinued. I'm glad that the performance degrees, I'm just wondering, again, how it was that the sacred music degree in a ministry school had that low enrollment, and you've kind of touched on it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't heavily recruited. I think the interest on the part of incoming students was low. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to be church music directors. They didn't want to be working in a church in that capacity. We had band. I want to be a band director. I want to be a choir director. I want to be a piano performance person. That kind of thing. I just think there wasn't any. Yeah. From my viewpoint, not only was it a financial consideration, but there just wasn't any interest on the part of students who were coming in, and I don't think it was really in the forefront of the minds of the faculty either, the music faculty. They all had their own little camps and special interests, and right. we really didn't have a sacred music person there. My recollection was Dr. Siddons was the hub of that. But beyond that, I just don't think there was any interest on the part of students.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm certainly aware, Paul, that you were, of course your dad was part of that too, as I recall. Like he did the, methods of materials thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually, go ahead.
Remember the whole context is that you're struggling financially. You got to whack off the limbs that aren't producing fruit.
Oh, absolutely. And I have, total understanding of that idea. I just didn't realize until I looked in the archives that had even taken place, because obviously I actually graduated with that degree.
Yeah.
Do you know if there was a music degree that had some sort of perhaps, sacred music or church music, then specialization or concentration after the actual degree was done away with? I've not seen anything. I just didn't know if there was something like that.
Yeah, I don't recall either. I don't know if we had a minor. If we had anything, it would have been a minor in that degree area.
And the reason
again, Paul, if you got, the bean counters are looking at the roll. Okay, so if you got a hymnology class and there's 3 people in it, that just doesn't, they're not looking at it. And I call them bean counters. You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
They're not looking at it from an academic standpoint. They're looking at it solely from a financial standpoint. And they're saying, look, the bottom line here isn't justifying why you have this course with 3 students in it.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason I asked that follow-up question is because, while I don't have direct documentation, I know that, I have a syllabus from when my dad was teaching, church music administration in the year 2000. And so I know he was still teaching some of these courses even after he left to go mostly, if not, almost full time at the church. But he was still teaching these courses, but it appears there wasn't a degree. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is what happened there. If he's teaching courses that aren't part of a degree, was there a minor? Was there a, what was going on?
I think there might have, you might follow back with Jim on that, but I think there was, I'm kind of thinking there was like a minor maybe.
Okay.
Or some electives they could take.
Sure.
Like that,
Sure. All right.
You can see too, Paul, from I was just thinking as we were talking, you can see the transition, how it's happened from your dad conducting this massive choir, and leading the music congregational hymns to what it is today. There's no choir, Thomas, right?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. They do have a choir. They don't do what we would have termed specials the way they used to. It would be more the Dave Williamson, if you remember the arranger Dave Williamson, more his idea of the worship leading choir, where they're on the platform, but mostly they're not doing specials. Now I think they're actually doing something this Sunday because if you recall the student Jody McBrayer, when he was there, he was on the Sounds of Liberty, ended up going on to bigger and better things, but he's in town this weekend. And so they're doing a song with him, I believe, but that's a little bit of an anomaly. Let me do this because we've only got probably about 10 minutes or so, and I want to make sure that we cover anything that you would like to cover that you think is important. And so let me ask this first. Is there anything that I've not currently